How's it going, YouTube? Coming at you with some Chimera Fiendsmith IRL gameplay. I just recorded playing at locals this past weekend. I thought it'd be cool to upload it and just kind of give my commentary / insights on like playing into real boards, playing a board breaker build of the deck. So anyways, in this round here, I'm playing at Centur-ion and I lose the dice roll. This is round 2 of 4. I'm only uploading the latter 3 rounds of the event, as round 1, both games, I just broke and did not draw a normal summon. So, I didn't really feel those were, valuable enough for me to want anybody to watch. It was really just a wash. Anyways, in this game here, my opponent is just full comboing with Centur-ion. It's Chimera into the field spell. Field spell is set to Trudea. Trudea effect gets a gargoyle, I believe. Then he synchros into the new Chimera. Chimera is going to get Emblem of Oath to place Atri, summon Atri, synchro for Auxilia. It's pretty standard for Centur-ion. He's going to add a Wake Up, and then Wake Up will summon a level 4 token. Then he can banish the Wake Up and Foolish Phalanx the Trap to reborn the Synchro. That way he can end with a Cosmic Blazar Dragon on his field. And then also make one on my turn if he wants to. So he's going to synchro with those two for Crimson Dragon, and then tag out for a Cosmic Blazar before ending his turn with just a bunch of hand traps. Anyways, I'm pretty sure my hand was like Book of Eclipse, Engraver, Poly, and then some other random cards. Like, it wasn't super amazing, but I did have some options for playing through this board. So I believe I start my turn just activating Book of Eclipse, or no, it was Engraver for Tract, that's what it is. So we Engraver for Tract, which I should have started with the Book of Eclipse here just to force the Blazar, because I'm pretty sure Engraver might have been my only play with this hand, because I just didn't draw a normal summon. But anyways, I Book of Eclipse now, which forces the Blazar. That's fine. I have another Book of Eclipse in my hand, so I'm asking him, like, anything on res. I want him to use his Centur-ion monsters, but he's not, so I just opt to summon Fenrir. He lets that go through, so I get the free search for another Fenrir. And then on res, he activates both of his Centur-ion monsters, summoning both, getting to Synchro and getting a draw. So he goes Chain 1 Trudea, Chain 2 Atri, and then Chain 1 Stand Up, Chain 2 Atri to get a free draw, which is fine. I can't respond to any of this really. Like, I can Book of Eclipse, but there's no real reason for me to Book of Eclipse on that instead of just waiting for the Synchro, because it's one less potential draw to give him. And like, I don't really care what he summons. If he summons Crimson Dragon, the Book of Eclipse beats that anyways and gives him one less draw, but he actually summons Legacia here, so it's kind of tough for me. I go Chain 1 Fenrir to banish Legacia, he's Chain 2, and then Chain 3 Valor, and I have to chain Book of Eclipse now to make sure that the Fenrir resolves. We're just looking up the ruling on Judge's Lounge real quick, because we actually weren't 100% sure that the Fenrir would still banish the Legacia if it's flipped face down. But that does end up being the case, so let me just speed through here real quick. And then we also had to look up if the Legacia still popped the Fenrir, which it doesn't, because once it's face down, it doesn't have an attack stat anymore. Anyways, now that that's all resolved, all I have to play through is some potential hand traps, so I go Tract for a Dusted Gold and pitch this Lori I already had in my hand. Unfortunately, he has a Druid Swarm for my Lori, so I don't get the free summon. And I'm not playing Dark Fusion in this build, so this Dusted Gold is really just a normal summon since I don't actually have one in my hand. We go for Requiem. Requiem gets out an Engraver from our deck. And then my next play here is to equip the Requiem, because I think I have Poly and Edgem Chin in my hand, and there's nothing I can really fuse for other than a Guardian Chimera. And I kind of want to try and go for a sequence play to bridge into my Chimera stuff before I do that. So we'll Requiem equip, and then I will use the Engraver to send the Requiem and his Auxilia just to clear the follow-up there. We'll use the other Engraver to summon itself, and then here he ends up nibbing me before I can like make a Caesar or anything. So he clears like my whole board. And actually, it's not Edgem Chin in hand, it's the other Fenrir which we searched. But he sends our current one with Druid Swarm, and I'm thinking if it's worth it to summon the Fenrir. I totally forgot that the Cosmic Blazar comes back in the end phase, so like this game is over. I'm just going to speed through this because I believe I do just concede here. And then we go on to game 2. I'm siding for Centur-ion, so I believe all I did was put in Ash Blossoms over, I want to say it's like droplets, just to play around like Fugalos and Prulia a little bit better here. So let me just fast forward here to when the game starts, doing a little pile shuffle, and I opt to go first, obviously, so we'll draw our opening hand. And now I start with Nightmare Throne, so I'm able to play around hand traps a little bit better this game. We'll go Spirit, destroy Spirit from deck, and then summon a Yubel. This is a, it does have a field spell package in the build I'm playing today, so I just wanted to try that out as opposed to playing like Azamina cards or something. Anyways, we summon the Yubel, then we go Patchwork for 2 more guys. Technically, that wasn't the best line to play out on Droll, but I was pretty confident that even if he drolled me, my hand was still going to end on like an okay board. So I just kind of went for it, just to get maximum value out of having all the bodies. I start with Poly. I'm going to fuse away the Edgem Chain and a Sword Knight here in order to make my Baphomet. And then I'll get to chain block this Baphomet with the Edgem Chain, searching for another follow-up Patchwork. It's not actually live because I'm only playing 1 Poly in this build, but it could be if I end up making a Magnum throughout this combo. So we'll send the Sinister Necrom off the Baphomet, and then the next play I do here is going to be Necrom to summon out a Dusted Gold, and then we'll link that for Requiem. Requiem's going to activate immediately and summon out an Engraver from the deck, and then I believe I just link off immediately for Sequence. Oh no, for Cross Sheep, that's what it is. I use my 2 Yubels to make a Phantom, which triggers the Cross Sheep to bring back the Sword Knight here, which is a pretty nifty play you can do. You know, you can do it without the Phantom stuff too, but it just makes it a whole lot easier if you have access to that. Anyways, I'm going to, I believe my next play is to Sword Knight for a Gazelle here, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Let's see. Yeah, it's for Gazelle. He lets it go through. He's really holding onto that Veiler for a long time. Anyways, we'll search for a Chimera Fusion, and then I activate the Fusion. We use the Diabolica in hand, which is a pretty nice draw, plus the Gazelle for a Chimera King. It'll be Chain 1 King, Chain 2 Gazelle, Chain 3 will be Diabolica to add back Engraver. So we have like tons of follow-up here. I'll add a Nightmare Apprentice and then add back the Engraver. I'll go Engraver effect, add back, or add a Tract, and then Tract for Luri, which is going to give us another free body to play with. And then I will, I think what's the next play? I think I link for Sequence. I might go, yeah, it's those 2 for Sequence. Sequence is going to fuse. We're just looking to kind of fill up our grave and get access to a lot of level 6 fiends. So I put back the Dust Gold and the Luri for an Aerial Eater. Aerial Eater is going to send just a random fiend. I think it is just a Baphomet for potential muck play. He Veilers my Phantom to try and go for a Nib play, but he does it in the wrong order. The Phantom does tribute for cost, so you can't really Veiler Nib. So we realize this, like, he learned from this mistake immediately after, obviously, because he went Chain 1 Veiler. I'm like, alright, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to chain, because then I'm just going to get nibbed anyways. Then he nibs, and I can still chain the Phantom, because it's not actually negated yet. This destroys Spirit, which then floats into another Yubel. And I did send Baphomet off of the Aerial Eater here. Now, just to be, like, I guess more clear, even if he had done that chain correctly, I think I'm still in a pretty favorable position here. I have so much gas in my hand that I can still make, like, almost, like, an entire full board, even after getting nibbed at that point. So it didn't really matter, like, a ton. But I am going to be in, like, a really crazy position here because of that. So I'll summon back my Engraver, then link for Muck, equip the Sequence in order to get a Necro-Equip Princess. Now I can go Apprentice effect, pitching the Dead Patchwork to get a Kodal. Kodal is going to get another search, and then I'll get the free draw off of the Necro-Equip Princess here for a Sword Knight. And then I can get another free draw, and then search the Sword Knight off the Kodal. We overlay for Caesar, activate another Chimera Fusion, because I'm going to get into search another one in a second anyways. And I really want to put back my Phantom. So I'm going to get another Sword Knight in the Graven rotation. The Throne is going to put back Phantom, and then I'm just immediately going to make it again by shuffling back the Yubels. And then I believe I'm just going to Talon Soak at his hand, take one more card, and then we'll get the end phase Chimera Rip. This game is pretty much wraps. Like, there's not really any top decks that he can have that play through all of this. So, I do actually have too many bodies to bring back the Birthmet. I didn't have enough links to clear everything because I made the Phantom. So just, hindsight, I definitely need to manage my bodies a little bit better. I think I should have linked for a Moon before the Muckracker just to clear away the Nightmare Apprentice after summoning it. But I really didn't think that far ahead, to be honest. I just didn't think I was going to clog my body so bad. But anyways, we're siding here for game 3. I'm pretty sure all I did was put the droplets back in for the 3 Ashes. Ash isn't like a super crazy card against Centur-ion. It's really more or less just to play around Fuga Lost if he happened to draw it in his opening hand since I was going first. So I'll just skip past siding here. Yeah, I take out my Ashes. I might have put in Thrust as well. I don't exactly remember, but I guess we'll see as the game plays out. So he's going to opt to go first. Obviously, he wants to set up his board. It starts with Rebellion. Pretty good way to start. Nothing I can do about that. Like I said, I don't play hand traps. He goes Rebellion for Magnemite. And he was telling me throughout his turn here that he's going to just try and play around Nib because he had a feeling I was going to side in Nibs for his deck. So he goes Trudea for Primera for Field Spell, I believe. No, he goes Primera for Phalanx because he already has the Field Spell. Then Field Spell, pitch Bonds to place probably Gargoyle here. Yep. And now he's going to summon out the Gargoyle, making it level 8 still. Now he contributed to some of the Rebellion, place a Regained. And now that's his third summon. So if he just makes Auxilla, he will have played around Nib, but she does go for the Auxilla here. And then he gets his search off the Auxilla. I believe he grabs a Wake Up. And he triggers his Bonds as well as Chain Link 2 in order to place the Primera. Yeah, no, he grabs another Stand Up. Okay. And then from here, he has a Magnemite, which he's going to banish his Gargoyle just to get a free draw. But now at this point, he has played into Nib, so he's kind of defeated the purpose of his lower ceiling combo. He ends up setting 1 and passing on this, I believe. He's got 3 cards in hand, and then he'll get the end phase Mag Search. Yeah, it looks like he's got an Ash, another Stand Up, and I don't quite know what the last card is. It might be another Emblem of Oath that he sets here. I think that's what it is. Yeah, and then he gets his end phase Search for Mag. I believe he grabs Druid Swarm. And then it is my turn. So I'm going to start off by summoning Fenrir again. And then I believe he lets this go through. Or he... no, he phalanxes it. That's what it is. So it immediately clears it. I don't get the free Surge. That's fine. I'm going to Terraforming just to grab another Wraithoth for Fenrir because I already have 2 Nightmare Thrones in my hand. He ashes it, so I just activate the Throne. Now we can get a free monster negate off immediately. I'll go Spirit Effect. And then he lets that go through. He Druid Storms it. That's what it is. I'm gonna summon my Yubel, and then I believe on res he activates Druid Storm. Yep. So I'm not gonna get the free Spirit here. I lied. I don't have access to that Spirit of Yubel, so I can't make Phantom rather. And then he puts it back to get a free draw off the Regain. I activate Patchwork. He doesn't have an Ash anymore, so that's going to go through. And now at some point, I am just going to be able to get access to Foolish, that Spirit again, because he did put it back. So I will still be able to make a Phantom. I know summon Gazelle. If he has a Villa or Imperm, it's fine because I have the Poly. He's going to get the Regain to get the free... Or actually, he doesn't have a Bistio target right now, so he won't be able to trigger the Regain yet. Since I already have access to Poly and Chimera Fusion, I add the Sinister Necrom here. I'll then activate my Poly. I think I just go for a Guardian Chimera play. Yep. I want the untargetable Guardian Chimera to just try and clear that last back row, and then I can really start playing. I'll go Chain 1 Chimera, Chain 2 Gazelle. And then I'll get to search for a Nightmare Apprentice here, and then it'll be draw 1, pop 2. So I'll be able to clear Well, I say clear because I realize now that the Jerusalem will just be able to come back off the regain if I just keep playing at all. He's just clarifying that because he didn't change to the Chimera effect, he won't be able to respond with the cards I'm trying to pop. He trusts the Jerusalem, the Guardian Chimera can't be targeted, so we actually can't activate it. But like I said, if he wanted to, now that we've just summoned another monster, he could regain to bring back the Jerusalem, and then when it gets sent again, he could trigger very easily. But anyways, I'm going to go chain link 1 Nightmare Apprentice, and then I believe he is going to chain some of his Centur-ion monsters here. Thankfully, he doesn't just regain for the Jerusalem to get the double Chaos Angel, like, Banish and Ascend. So he just summons Primera here. I search Kotal off my Apprentice, and then he goes Primera effect to search. I'm not sure actually if he used the stand-up here or if he's holding it to do it with Trudea. I'm also now realizing that he just searched Primera off Primera, which you definitely can't do, but it's okay. Yeah, so he doesn't trigger the Trudea here. It is just stand-up and Primera. He's going to Chaos Angel banish my Nightmare Apprentice. That's fine. This is a little annoying though because this is a light and dark Chaos Angel, so it is like pretty tough to out without any non-engine. I don't play Underworld Goddess in my deck, so that's not really an option. I'll go Necrom for gold here, and then summon Requiem. Requiem is going to get Engraver, and he will use his regain to get back to Mag and get a search as well, like while I'm doing all this. I equip my Requiem, contact fuse those two for a Necroquip. Now I'm going to go Kotal effect to search. I believe I just grabbed Sword Knight here. And then I will get the free draw off of the Necroquip Princess. And I'm really hoping to just draw like a drop out of talents, something, just to clear this Chaos Angel. But I believe I end up just drawing another Sword Knight or a Nightmare Throne and something like that. I think it was another Sword Knight, but yeah, like I said, if anything that's not that specific non-engine, like Book of Eclipse, Droplet, it's all the same. Like, it doesn't out Chaos Angel, so it doesn't matter. And I'm trying to think, like, how do I out this? I can't kill any of his monsters by battle. His synchros are unaffected. I don't really have a good way to, like, deal with his board. So I'm like, you know what? Like, I'll just make my own Light and Dark Chaos Angel, and I'll sit on that in defense mode until I get access to non-engine that outs it. So I'll link those two for Cross Sheep. I fuse with Chimera, or I fuse into Baphomet with Edgemp and Sword Knight. I'll go chain 1 Cross Sheep, chain 2 Baphomet, and then chain 3 will be the Edgemp chain. Just in case I wanted to send something off of the Baphomet that I can then summon off the Cross Sheep, but I opt to just send the Spirit of Yubel so that I can still make a Phantom. Here, I'm now realizing, like, if I want to make this a Light and Dark Chaos Angel, I actually can't grab my Sword Knight. I need to grab this Edgemp chain because the Engraver's a light, so I need a Dark level 4. And then I add back my Chimera Fusion. I'm just trying to see if there's a way I can go for like a sequence line and then still get access to a level 6 light monster. And I don't think I can quite see the line, so I think I just end up synchroning with these two for a Chaos Angel. Let's see here. Because I have Patchwork, Chimera Fusion, and I believe another Sword Knight in my hand. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just make my own Chaos Angel. Oh no, I do go for sequence here. Okay. Sequence is going to shuffle back Chimera and Necroquip to make another Baphomet. That way I have another Guardian Chimera in rotation to make on his turn to possibly interrupt some synchro plays. This is what it is. I link into Muck pitch the dead Patchwork to bring back the Engraver, and then I synchro into Chaos Angel. I'm going to banish the regain just to stop the constant flow of Bestial follow-up. And then I make a Phantom by shuffling my 2 Yubel monsters back. So I have like pretty decent protection. None of my monsters can die by battle. The Chaos Angel is unaffected. I have a Guardian Chimera play with the Fusion, and I have Phantom to like potentially negate something. So in the standby phase, I will also get my Fenrir back because of the Phalanx. He goes Trudea Summon, Trudea Place. I'm actually honestly not sure how much him adding the Primera off Primera matters, because he does just get access to it here anyways. He summons it out, and then he searches for a Atri. And then I Fenrir banish it after he resolves his search. I just want to keep him off tuners. He normal summons Atri, and he goes effect to draw 1. I'm like, that's fine. On res, I'm just going to Chimera Fusion. And then I will use Fenrir, Muckracker, and the Dead Sword Knight in my hand to make a Guardian Chimera, which will draw 1 and pop 2. So we'll just pop Mag and the Atri. I'm just trying to keep them off more synchro monsters at this point, so I can still out the Chaos Angel. And actually, we are getting pretty close to time, so like we're both kind of trying to rush through plays here. Duraswarms just banishes an Engraver, I believe. He's just trying to put like presence on the board. He forgets that my Chaos Angel is also light and dark, so he tries to go battle phase. In a second here, he's going to stand up and just place another guy. I think he just places Gargoyle. That might be his last targeting deck, yeah. And then he might summon it here. I actually don't remember. Yeah, so he goes attack, and I'm like, yeah, everybody's protected from the Chaos Angel. So nothing can die by battle. He tries to link summon into SP here just to try and clear something. He goes SP effect, targeting. He does try and target the Guardian Chimera, and then we have to say, I use Phantom to change the effect, and then we realize the Guardian Chimera can't be targeted because I have Poly, so he opts to banish my Nightmare Throne instead, which is fine. Like, I'm not going to do anything because I just drew one off of the Guardian Chimera, so I have another one anyways. Then I believe he just passes his turn on this because he can't kill anything by battle. And now, because we're so close to time, I just turn my Chaos Angel to attack mode, hit the SP. It can't die by battle, but now I'm up in life. And then in main phase 2, I just start playing a little Nightmare Throne just to, I think I just add Spirit of Yubel to my hand, just as like another battle protection card, even though I don't think it matters at this point. Because we're about to be in time, and I'm now up on life in game 3, yeah, that's it. So that's it for this round, and now we'll move on to the next one. Alright, in this next round, I am playing against Mimighoul, I'm pretty sure, and I do believe I lost this dice roll as well. I rolled, looks like a 8, and then he rolled an 11, so, you know, what can you do? He opts to start his turn by activating Shifter, and immediately I'm like, holy crap, like, this guy normally plays Voiceless. The last couple weeks at Local was like, why is he Shiftering? And then he goes Mimighoul Maker, and I'm like, oh, well, Chimera has kind of a really insane Mimighoul matchup. He Makers for Dragon and Archfiend. I get the Dragon, thankfully, and he does summon the Archfiend from his hand, flips the Dragon, gets it back, and then I think he goes for, what is it, Mimighoul Throne? I believe is the one that summons the Master from deck and has the non-target bounce. Yeah, overlay those two. Yes, it is Mimighoul Throne. He'll detach the Archfiend, summon out a Master from the deck, and then Master's going to search for another Mimighoul monster. He just grabs a Fairy here. He'll summon Slime, summon Fairy, and then goes for Mimighoul Giant. This will let him search for another Mimighoul card, so I believe he gets access to Room. It's either Room or the Field spell, but I'm pretty sure it's not Dungeon. Yeah, he does grab Room here, which is pretty good. Against most matchups that aren't specifically Chimera, or I guess like another Fusion deck. So I believe he just sets Room and passes. So I have to play through a non-target bounce and a non-target Book of Moon. All while under Shifter, which normally would be kind of irritating to play through. I'm just clarifying that the Giant Mimighoul doesn't have a quick effect. It is just the Throne that has the non-target bounce 1, because that's one material. So I draw for turn, and I believe my first play is to activate Set Rotation. So I will get access to Wraithoth, and I'll give him the Throne. Normally you do it the other way around, but because we're under Shifter, the Throne doesn't really do anything for me, and I kind of just want the Fenrir to be able to play through some stuff. So I'll summon the Fenrir, and I believe it immediately eats the Mimighoul Room, which is fine. You know, that's why I grabbed it in the first place. I'm just trying to clear all of his interruptions before I really commit to the board, especially because we're under Shifter. And then here he gives me a Dragon, I'm pretty sure. So I'll activate Patchwork. Unfortunately, like I think in hindsight, you should never give Chimera the monster from Mimighoul because I have so many ways to just fuse it off. Here I'm just gonna Guardian Chimera him for his life savings. So he's just reading his Throne to make sure he can bounce his own cards. I activate Poly here. I believe Thorn only bounces face-up cards, so he just doesn't chain it, which is fine. I don't think it's correct to chain it there, because I'd still make a Chimera anyways. And then I banish the Edge of Chain from my hand, the Fenrir, and the Dragon he gave me for a Guardian Chimera. I'll go effect to pop 2. He bounces his own Throne, or bounces his own Master, probably. Yeah, the Master. And then, because there's not 2 cards on the field anymore for me to destroy, I'll just draw one off the Chimera, but I won't actually get to pop the Giant Mimighoul. So we just clarify that. I can, like, make sure he gets his monster back. I draw 1. Pretty sure I drew into Diabels there, which is not super ideal. I have absolutely no way to summon that thing under Shifter, so it's just a card sitting in my hand. I do have a Sword Knight in my hand, though. So we get to summon Gazelle and add Chimera Fusion, and then we have, like, a guaranteed way to summon no matter what happens. But I am just going to poke for a little bit of damage, set my Chimera Fusion to just be able to play more in his turn. There's no point in me overextending under Shifter, so I'm just not going to do that. He summons his Master, and Master's going to give a search. I'm like, that's fine. You know, I don't play second Guardian Chimera, and I'm definitely not going to fire it right away on a Mimighoul Master. So I'm pretty sure he's just reading Throne to make sure he can activate it before he searches, because he probably wants to grab Dragon. He's just double checking what he's got in his hand here, but I am pretty sure he just goes for Dragon. Let's see. He might go for Fairy, actually. Let's fast forward a second here. Yeah, he actually is thinking out his play, realizes that, like, he's too far behind at this point. And I'm pretty sure he thinks I'm on a second Guardian Chimera, which is definitely fair. So it's just, you know, like, too much to play through. So we decide for the next game. I actually don't remember what I decided for this matchup. I think what did I take out? I think I take out my 3 Book of Eclipses, because that just seems like not a great card in the Mimighoul. And I took out Diabels, and I don't remember what the 2 other cards are. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I put in 3 Thrusts, Evenly, and Duster, I think. I don't know if I put my Ashes in 2, because Ash is, like, pretty solid against this matchup, you know, if you Ash the room. Which I think I do remember putting in Ashes. I don't know, this was a couple days ago now, so I'm just trying to, like, refresh my memory here. Anyways, let me skip past Sutting. He's going to go first again. And I drew double Fuwa Loss in my opening hand. So I'm feeling pretty safe. You know, I can play through 1 bounce and I'll take the 1-for-1 trades. He summons the Dragon, which is going to get Maker, and now these Fuwa Losses are just going to choke him to death. I used the first one. He doesn't have Asher called by, so I just chained the second one. I'm going to get at least 1 draw off this Maker for sure, and then if he goes into the extra deck, I'm going to get an additional 2. So I would go +1 off of each Mulch Army. And I think that's all you can really afford to do. He gives me the Fairy here, which I misread. I thought Fairy, when it's flipped, you can't activate cards in your hand. That's not the case. You can't activate the effects of monsters that were summoned from your hand. So, like, theoretically, I couldn't activate the Nightmare Apprentice. But I could activate this Ash that I drew. But I don't realize that, so he's just playing. It ends up working out in my favor anyways, because I get to hold the Ash for the room. But I believe he overlays these 2 for a Throne. Or maybe it's a Giant. Yeah, he's got a Giant for room. Which I could have Ashed that. But I guess it makes more sense to hold the Ash for the room in case he already had it. Because I really don't know what else it searches other than room. But anyways, I have like this huge hand to play with. I get to start with Nightmare Throne. Never gonna complain about that. It's just a crazy broken card. And it's so good in this deck when you can, like, refresh your Phantom so easily and make such good use of the Fiend bodies. Anyways, I think, what do I normal summon here? It's Edge of Chin. Because I'm just gonna immediately link away, just to play around the room. We'll link for Moon, get the free trigger off my Edge of Chain for a Patchwork, and then I'll Moon Effect, try and force something out. I can't actually link summon anything, and he just doesn't take the bait. I go for Phantom, and then here I believe I'm gonna go Moon for Requiem, and then activate Requiem Effect. I don't think he activates his room yet. I think he is holding it a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, I'll go Requiem effect because I know I have the Ash for the room, so I don't really have to worry about it. There's no call by or anything to set, so I know that like I'm gonna be able to negate it no problem. Anyways, I go equip the Requiem, and then I contact Fuse for a Necroquip, which means I am gonna be able to technically get an extra draw here. I summon back my Engraver by putting back the Requiem, and at this point he's afraid of Caesar, so I believe this is when he uses the room. Or I might be holding it. Okay, I guess I'm just clarifying that I can still attack under the dungeon as long as I don't have a face down monster. I link for sequence. Like I could have made the Caesar there, which would have been fine, but I want the Aerialator to start being able to play out like stronger combos than Caesar Phantom Pass. So we will dump the Necrom off of the Aerialator. Because I shuffled back the Edgem Chain, now my Patrick is live again. I did have both in my hand, so that was an issue with activating the Patrick there to get poly access. So thankfully I was able to do that. That was also the other reason why I made the Necroquip, was so that I had a second Dark Fiend to shuffle back. Anyways, I'll go Necrom for a Dusted Gold here, and then I think I just activate Poly. Let's see. I'm thinking about it for sure. Let's see. Skip forward here. I'm gonna link. I think I link it a Cross Sheep first. Let's see. Yeah, we'll link the sequence and the Dusty Gold for Cross Sheep. Yep. Now I have a fusion in the zone it's already pointing to, but I also can't just summon the other fusion. And then he concedes here because like a Guardian Chimera is just gonna wipe him out of the game. Anyways, that's it for this round, and let's hop into the last one for this video. Alright, this is the last round of the event. We do high roll, I rolled a 4. I saw him roll 2, but I was so excited, but he rolled a 5. And, you know, 5 is higher than 4, so we lost yet again another dice roll. This round is against Fire King, or not Fire King, just regular Snake Eyes Azamina. And unfortunately, I am going second. So he starts with D-Bellstar pitching, I believe that is Snake Eyes D-Bellstar in his hand. I'm sorry about the glare. If I do another video like this, I will definitely try and position the camera a little bit better. Anyways, he's going to set Deception off of that, and then he'll go Deception, pitch a Perulia. This way he can get access to his fusion spell. I think it's called Hollowed. Then he'll go Hollowed to summon the Azamina Searcher. It's going to grab him any Sinful Spoils card, I believe. So he's able to add Wanted here. No, he goes for Original. Then he can link to for an IP. He is not playing the Fiendsmith stuff in this build, which is fair. He's going to shuffle back to add another Hollow. Then he'll chain, or he'll just send the Original to summon the Silvera. He can go Original, and he's just thinking about what to put back here. He ends up wanting to put back the Snake Eyes Diabellstar, which is kind of like telling me that his hand is not super great. He had to put it back in order to get enough targets for his field spell later on. So he'll search for a Snake Eyes Ash. He'll go Ash for Poplar. And if you'll notice, I know this video is sped up pretty quick, but he does have double Oak in his hand. So it's not super great of an opening on his end. Anyways, he'll go Ash for Poplar. Poplar for the field spell to replace the Snake Eyes Diabellstar. He'll go Ash, send itself and the Diabellstar to summon Oak from hand. Then he links off the Poplar and the Ash for a Silhouette Rabbit to set in Azarum. And then from here, he is going to use Poplar effect to replace the Snake Eyes Diabellstar. After that, he'll go Snake Eyes Diabellstar to place Poplar. Then he'll go Oak effect to summon out Flamberge. And then from here, I believe he just links into Princess. Let's see. Yeah, he goes to link off with the Silhouette Rabbit, but then I remind him, can't use this like material if you set the trap. If he didn't set the trap, then, he would have been fine. But anyways, he goes Snake ID, Battlestar, and IP for Nightmare Phoenix, actually. And then Nightmare Phoenix and Flamberge for Princess. This way he creates enough room on his board to keep playing. He'll summon back Poplar and Oak off of the Flamberge, and then Princess back to Flamberge. Flamberge plays IP, it's pretty typical. Went off for Raging Phoenix, and I think he opts not to go for Zealantis here because he's kind of getting his board clogged right now. So he kind of wants to keep monsters in that EMZ. Anyways, he's going to pass on that with one card in hand. So I pretty much know that I have to play around just what I see on the board, which is definitely doable. I get to start with Nightmare Throne. Nightmare Throne is a hell of a card. It just makes playing through boards so easy. This is the thing I like more about Nightmare Throne as opposed to the Azamina stuff, is it's not as much of a commitment of the cards in my hand. I don't have to attribute a monster for deception. And sorry, just to pivot back to the gameplay, he summons the IP with his Flamberge so that he's able to pop the Nightmare Throne before I'm able to make Phantom, and then the SP banishes my Yubel. Then he summons the Azure to play around the potential Nightmare Apprentice in my hand because he does know I'm playing Chimera. So next I'll go for a Kotal. I will get to search for a Gazelle, and I know that this Gazelle is going to get SP'd, but I have the material in my hand to play, to resolve a fusion anyways. So I'll go Gazelle effect, and I believe he's just clarifying what the Gur effects do. But I will Gazelle here for a Baphomet because I think the other card in my hand is a Sword Knight. I'll go Chimera Fusion. He's going to negate it instead of chanting the SP, but I have the called by for the Silvera, so we're able to play through the rest of this board pretty easily. He chains SP to the called by to hope that I just don't have the material, but that's not the case. I'll fuse Baphomet and Sword Knight. I'll go chain 1 Fusion Baphomet, chain 2 Big Wing to bring back Sword Knight. And then, so that'll come back, and I'll get to Foolish, probably Sinister Necrom here if I had to take a wild guess. Yep, there's the Sinister Necrom. I will add back my Fusion. My Kotal and my Sword Knight are live as negates now, so I want to put the Sword Knight back in the grave as soon as I can, just to play around the Azure before I commit to Link plays. So I do just use the Sword Knight effect just to get another Gazelle. Once I fuse off with it, I will be able to get more follow-up, and I need it engraved in order to negate this Azure effect. So here, yep, he's just thinking about chaining. He lets it go through. I get my Gazelle, and then I start my Link plays because my Sword Knight is live with a negate. He uses the Azurine, I negate with the Sword Knight, go Requiem effect to summon out Engraver, and then from here I equip my Requiem to the Engraver. It's just, wait here a second. Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to think of what my next play is, if I'm able to afford to be able to send with the Engraver, or if I have to hold it and make a Necroquip in this situation. So I'm not entirely sure about that. I'm just kind of trying to think through my options. I know the last back row is Deception, so it's not real. And then, let's see. I activate Chimera Fusion, and I fuse away those two for the regular Chimera King. I want to keep my negates alive for this Princess in the grave. I need that targeting negation, but I also wanted to search off of the Gazelle. So I will pitch the other Nightmare Throne I drew in my hand to summon Apprentice. Apprentice will grab another Sword Knight. Because I used my previous one, I want to be able to put another one in the graveyard for the follow-up turn. Then I was about to link those off, but I'm like, wait a second, let me Requiem before I forget to do that. And then I'll go Requiem, just send the Raging Phoenix, I'm pretty sure. Yep. I just don't want to destroy it. I don't have a way to negate the Flamberge, so I don't want to send that, and I really don't care about the Suha Rabbit. I don't have any spells and traps, so it doesn't matter. He goes Princess, I banish my Kotal to negate it. And then I get to activate my sequence effect here. I believe I fuse for another Baphomet, shuffling Gazelle and the... what do I put back here? It's Gazelle and... or no, I go for Aerial Eater. I put back the Requiem and the Adusted Ghoul, that's what it is. So we'll go Aerial Eater effect we'll send a Burf. No, Burfmet's already in the grave. Probably send Diabolica. Yeah, add back Engraver, and then Engraver effect for Tract. And then we can Tract for Lori. Oh, here's a cool play. So I get to make Cross Sheep with these two. In order to bring back a monster, I can bring back... I'm pretty sure it's Cross Sheep that I go for. It's looking like that's what it's gonna be. Yeah. Summon Cross Sheep. Then I can go Tract. And when I summon the Lori, I just summon it to the Cross Sheep zone. That way I can bring back a level 4 Lore monster. So we can grab back just the Gazelle. It doesn't really matter too much. And then I equip Sequence to Lori in order to contact fuse for an equip Princess. Then I can go Engraver effect. Because I don't believe I've used it yet. I summoned it and I never summoned it back. So I'll shuffle back Sequence to get Engraver. And then now that I'm able to make a Caesar, I can safely clear this Flamberge and to get the effect to stop the ton of follow-up that would be there. So I believe I do make a slight misplay here and he lets me take it back, which I'm like thankful for, but I mean it is a local, so it's just chill. We link the Cross Sheep and the Gazelle for Muckracker, and then I go Muckracker effect first, but I'm supposed to overlay first because the Burfmet will fusion lock me. And then I like immediately realize I'm like, yo, hold on, let me just overlay first, and then I'll muck for the Burfmet. And he's asking like why I had to do that in that order, and I'm like, well, the Burfmet fusion locks you, so I need to do this first before I summon it. We add some follow-up. I clear the Flamberge. He shows me the last card in his hand is Oak, and he has no way to play through a Caesar plus like the Guardian Chimera. It's just too much. Anyways, we're just chatting a little bit while we're siding for the next game. I believe, where did I side here? I sided on 3 Fuga loss for sure. I think it was 3 Fuga loss, 3 thrust and an evenly. I'm pretty sure that's what I put in here. And we just do a quick pile shuffle. Let's see. Skip through. Yeah, we cut each other's decks. He's going first again. That's fine. Yeah, I'm always expecting to play into a board at least once a match. He starts with Temple. His hand, once again, is not super amazing. You know, when they have to Temple for Ash, like, you're feeling pretty good about that. And I think this should have been a relatively easy game for me based on my hand. He sets one other card. And I opt to not just evenly match his board. Because I'm like, oh, I can play through one Imperm. Like, that'll be no problem at all. And I have a talents in my hand that'll make live. So that's like a little bit of a greedy play. So I go Gazelle effect. He temples the Ash and then chains Imperm. So I'm like, this is fine. You know, I have my, you know, it might be thrust, not talents. But he goes, anyways, he goes Ash for Poplar for some follow-up. And, I'm like, okay, like, I'll thrust, I'll just grab a Patchwork, and then I'll be able to play anyways, because I'll just poly, and now I can, like, clear through his board a little bit more than I would have been able to just with evenly matched, like, leaving on potentially one card. So I'm just thinking if it's worth it to add Terraforming or to add Patchwork here. Getting access to the Yubel stuff is nice, but I don't currently have a way to fuse off this Gazelle, so I end up deciding that I do just need to go for the Patchwork. Yep, just in a second here, I'll grab it. Yeah, just keep evaluating my hand, nothing's changed. So I'll go Patchwork for Poly Chain. And then I decide that yeah, I Poly and he impulses me. Now this like completely messed things up. I'm like regretting not using that evenly match so bad because now I have to go battle phase and crash my Gazelle anyways just so I can still evenly him. Because he's just done too much stuff. So I try and pull a little bit more in the main phase, but that is the general idea right now. We're just going to grab Sword Knight for follow-up, because I don't have a way to keep extending through double, like, non-engine interruptions. I just go battle, crash into the Poplar, take, what is it, like 200 or 300 or something? I think it's 300. And then end the battle, I go evenly, and feel like the worst player in the world because I did not evenly him to start. And we did talk about it after. It's like, yeah, I couldn't have kept the Imperm if you evenly. Like, I have to keep the Snake Eye Ash, and it's just useless. So it was definitely the wrong play to not evenly off rip, just to like not have to deal with Imperm. But I set one in pass. I think it might be a called by that I set. I honestly don't remember, but I know that like there's a very good chance that he just kills me this turn because he has original that he can just like summon Oak or whatever. Like he's not stressed at all, and he goes normal summon Perulia. Then he's gonna link 2 into IP, trigger the Poplar. I feel like I just have to call by it here. I know he's gonna be able to original send IP and then just get access to Oak for Poplar anyways. So I was really debating holding the call by for the Oak effect. But I was like, you know what, he gets rid of the IP, it'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know. I think either way, like I'm just not really in a very favorable position at this point. He'll Oak for Flambridge, and then Flambridge will be able to place the IP back in the back row after whacking in for 3k. And then now he also just has a D barrier in his hand. Great draw for turn. I'm like, yeah, I could play through, you know, 1 SP and some follow-up, like that's no biggie. But the barrier did not make things easier, I will tell you that much for free. I will normal summon my Sword Knight, and I'm probably just, yeah, he goes Flambridge for IP. I'm like, well, I'll just try and force something. I say battle phase, he's thinking. Just clarifying that the Sword Knight actually can't destroy anything by battle. And then he lets me go battle phase. So I'm like, well, if that is an Ash in his hand, I'm like, I was never winning this game. I got a Sword Knight effect, and he says that that's good. So summon out my Gazelle. I get access to a Chimera Fusion, which I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so good. I'll pop off in the next, in main phase 2. I hit over the IP, don't have to worry about SP anymore. And then I believe my first action is just to activate Fusion. Let's see. Yep, I activate Fusion, and it immediately gets me out of D barrier. I'm pretty sure I just have to pass on that. Like, I can't even add back Diffusion because I don't have a Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast, in rotation. He goes original to put back Oak and add Oak, and then I'm like, really? Like, it doesn't even have to be a different name that you add, and he double checks it. It's like, oh, you could just add the same guy you put back as long as it's another copy. So that's kind of crazy. Anyways, he normals Oak to get back Poplar. And I believe at this point he gets mixed up and thinks that my negates are alive in the grave because they just almost always are when you're playing as Chimera. So he's just trying to play around that. He goes Flambridge for IP and then links those 2 off for, or he goes Oak Send to get Snake ID Bellstar. He just has some big beat sticks. Like, he's playing it super safe, which is fair. But he definitely could have killed me here if he just went for it. He goes D-Bellstar attack. He's not going to push back because he just wants to get in for damage. He hits me for another 3k. I have Spirit of Yubel in my hand, so we talked about it after, and I don't think he was going to be able to kill me through that anyways, because you know, if he goes for a Zelantis line with Princess, the Spirit of Yubel floats in a regular Yubel, which you also can't kill by battle, so I'm pretty safe here. I top deck Nightmare Apprentice. I go Apprentice Pitch Chain. Holy, what a combo. We're cooking now. Because now I get access to Patchwork, which is going to guarantee me a fusion play anyways. And I also get Kodal, which is just going to give me another Gazelle to get me back into Chimera Fusion. And now at this point, he has Droll in his hand, but because he activated the Impulse from his hand, he can't use it. So it's just an unfortunate draw for him, but that's just how it is sometimes when you hold the Impulse in your hand instead of setting it. But to be fair, if he had set it, I absolutely definitely would not have considered holding the evenly matched. Like, I for sure would have just went for it, which would have worked out like significantly better than me. So it was definitely good on him to hold the Impulse in his hand to potentially play around Breaker, like evenly or Lightning Storm or Duster. Anyways, like I said earlier, I go Kodal effect to add Gazelle here, surely. I don't need to add Sword Knight. I already have one in rotation, so I can't imagine that's what I go for. I also don't want to just needlessly lose to an Ash, because the extra body does matter. I go Gazelle effect, he doesn't have any response, he can't use the Droll. I'll just immediately fire off the fusion once I add it. We'll fuse the Dusted Gold in my hand of the Gazelle for Chimera. We'll go Chain 1, Chain 2. So I'll get to chain block the Sen. What I add doesn't actually matter that much. It's just got to be a monster for me to fuse within a second. He's just rooting to make sure that it sends a Beast, Fiend, or Illusion, and is kind of thinking about his responses. And then he scoops it up there. I just have too much going, and he doesn't have any way to interact with my board. So that's it for this, I guess, locals review with some commentary. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this kind of video format, definitely let me know. It was super fun to just record out locals. Something I've never really done before. So it's definitely something I'd be open to doing again in the future. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.